Hello and welcome to the news on NTA International. I am Frama Panyi. Shagun Ajayi is the sign language interpreter. But first, let's hear the headlines. Nigerian government mourns victims of Mokwa flood as disaster claims more than 100 lives. The Senate cautions government agencies over alleged sabotage of federal character. And Nigeria seeks fair immigration policies from UK. You heard the headlines and now the news in full. Nigeria is urging the United Kingdom to be considerate in its immigration policies as both countries pledge to strengthen parliamentary cooperation for mutual benefits. This was when Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, received UK's Minister for Africa, Lord Collins of Highbury. National Assembly correspondent Mitaire Ikpen reports.
Parliament by the House of Representatives Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. They acknowledged the strategic partnership between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, leading to a trade volume of £7.2 billion in 2024, with a surplus of £3.4 billion in favour of the UK. The Deputy Speaker draws attention to UK's latest immigration white paper, which is perceived to be restrictive for students and skilled professionals.
Shortening the graduate route visa to 18 months and closing the overseas social care worker visa route to new applicants. These measures have the potential to create new challenges for Nigerian nationals who have historically contributed to the UK economy and society. Today's dialogue provides an opportunity to advocate for the following. Number one, an immigration policy framework that acknowledges the contributions of Nigerian nationals in the UK. Two, mutual recognition of qualifications to facilitate the movement of skilled professionals.
I want to reassure you that our relationships is about strengthening interparliamentary contact to ensure that we share the same objectives, support that absolutely fundamental position of democracy that has been so embedded here in Nigeria and in the United Kingdom.
It is an ongoing dialogue as both countries seek to expand areas of parliamentary cooperation based on respect and equality to create a win-win situation. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikpen, NTA News.
And the Minister of Agriculture and that of Livestock Development represented Nigeria at the recently concluded Brazil-Africa Dialogue on Food Security in Brazil. During the summit, Brazilian President Lula da Silva announced a strategic commitment to invest in Nigeria's crop production and livestock development. Musa Baba Aliyu has the details.
This marks the second occasion on which the Brazilian government has hosted African leaders as part of its strategy to strengthen bilateral relationships with the continent. This year's dialogue centered on food security, hunger eradication, and rural development. Over 40 delegations participated in the dialogue, with Senator Abubakar Kyari, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, and Idi Mukhtar Maiha, the Minister of Livestock Development, representing Nigeria. President Lula da Silva of Brazil emphasized the significance of the partnership between Brazil and Africa, particularly in the realms of food production and poverty eradication. Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, presented Nigeria's statement during the dialogue meeting, highlighting various programs and reforms initiated by the government under President Tinubu.
Across Africa, food security is no longer treated as a marginal concern. It is now a presidential-level agenda backed by a strong political will to reform, invest, and above all, act.
Kyari also addressed the Nigerian-Brazil partnership and its impact on crop, fisheries and livestock development. To this end, the Brazilian Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock opened 9 new markets across Africa. Consequently, Brazil signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Nigeria, Kenya, and Cote d'Ivoire to enhance technical cooperation and improve agricultural and livestock system. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, is pushing for the smooth implementation of the ECOWAS protocol on the Abidjan-Lagos corridor to further stimulate economic growth and integration in the sub-region. Yusuf Tugar was speaking during a courtesy visit by the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Maimunatu Ibrahima, in Abuja. The minister also held talks with UK's Minister for Africa, Lord Collins of Highbury, on bilateral and multilateral cooperation. Garba Natala has more details.
The Lagos-Abidjan corridor is a 6-lane dual carriageway connecting the capital cities of Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Togo, Benin, and Nigeria, meant to enhance intertrade among West African countries. The project aims to transform the transport corridor into one of the biggest economic hubs on the African continent. The assessment of the project further paved the way for further discussion to ensure its full utilization and avoid disparities in policy frameworks.
And it further shows the commitment towards constitutional governance, towards democratic representation in the region, which is very important because it is one of the fastest growing parts of the world in terms of demography.
Nous avons sollicité
also see how we can enhance and support the projects that are implemented by the ECOWAS, see how we can have more capability and enhancement so that we can play some more legislative role in the ECOWAS community.
In a separate engagement, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, also had an audience with UK's Minister for Africa, Lord Collins of Highbury, to further discuss on strengthening UK-Nigeria relations, collaboration on initiatives to boost Nigeria's economy and promote sustainable development. Other areas of focus include joint efforts to address security concerns such as terrorism and banditry in Nigeria and the West African sub-region, as well as gain more support in areas of regional and global issues. In Abuja, Garba Muhammad Natala, NTA News.
A historic move in Hong Kong as Nigeria officially becomes a member of the International Organization for Mediation, IMED. Ambassador Obinna Onowu, Director of International Organizations at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, signed the membership document on behalf of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Speaking exclusively to correspondent Patricia Esami-Luba after the signing, Ambassador Onowu emphasized Nigeria's readiness to contribute meaningfully to the mediation process on the global stage. This, he said, is a reaffirmation of Nigeria's long-standing commitment to peaceful dispute resolution, believing that IMED offers a strategic opportunity for Africa and Nigeria in particular to shape the evolving global peace architecture.
Settlement of disputes by peaceful means, which is quite timely given the geopolitical context in the world today. And for us as a country that always promoted peace, promoted international cooperation, multilateralism, it's a good step for Nigeria in global diplomacy. So it's a good feeling for us that we are amongst those countries that are actually pushing for settlement of disputes through dialogue.
Nigeria's inclusion adds significant weight to IMED, especially in the light of its leadership in regional peace efforts across West Africa. With Nigeria now at the table, IMED gains not just a member, but a powerful advocate for inclusive Pan-African participation in global mediation. A private jet carrying Liberian President Joseph Boakai was involved in a runway incident at Roberts International Airport late Thursday night after experiencing a tire burst upon landing, the Liberia Airport Authority confirmed. The aircraft became temporarily immobilized on the runway following a tire malfunction, prompting an immediate emergency response. All individuals on board, including President Boakai, were safely evacuated without injury in accordance with the airport established emergency procedures, authorities said. The Liberian president was returning from Lagos, Nigeria, where he had participated in the 50th anniversary of the Economic Community of West African States, a regional body comprising over 15 countries in West Africa. Officials working in coordination with technical aviation personnel quickly deployed resources to secure the scene and remove the aircraft. Normal flight operations at the airport have resumed, and the aircraft was cleared from the active runway. Authorities also denied claims that the incident was caused by poor runway conditions. And former Congolese President Joseph Kabila made his first public appearance in Goma since arriving in the city last month amid escalating tensions and ongoing violence in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, just as civilians make their return to South Sudan 12 years after fleeing civil war. Chukunonso Mwabweze reports.
Kabila, who ruled the country from 2001 to 2019, met with local religious leaders in the rebel-held city. Though he did not speak publicly, the meeting underscored his growing involvement in the region's search for peace, despite accusations from the government that he's backing the M23 rebel group. In a bid to achieve an enduring peace, religious leaders called on Kabila to step into a mediating role. Kabila's return to the spotlight comes as the Congolese Senate recently voted to lift his immunity, paving the way for potential prosecution on charges of treason and war crimes, accusations he has dismissed as politically motivated. In a statement last week, he accused the country government of turning into a dictatorship backed by parliament. President Felix Tshisekedi's government has repeatedly alleged that Kabila is supporting the Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, who have taken control of key cities in the east. Kabila has denied any links to the group. Despite a recent commitment to a truce between Congo's army and the M23, clashes have continued in the South Kivu province, further complicating peace efforts. In a related development, residents of the High Matad village in South Sudan have finally returned to the land they left behind 12 years ago, moving into 128 new shelters built by humanitarians. The community has also been joined by many returnees who crossed the border back into South Sudan to escape the brutal war in neighboring Sudan. The state government is monitoring the return process to prevent disputes and potential conflicts over land ownership. When the civil war erupted in 2013, they were forced to flee their homes and seek sanctuary in a United Nations protection of civilian site in Malakal, Upper Nile. Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
An Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has praised the strong partnership between her country and Kazakhstan. Chukunonso Mwabweze reports that the synergy underscores Italy's commitment to deepening ties with Astana and the broader Central Asian region.
Speaking at the Astana International Forum on Friday, Meloni signaled a new chapter in relations, both bilaterally and multilaterally. We intend to seal the friendship that unites our nations with concrete facts by enhancing our strategic collaboration on many crucial fields. And this visit also marks a historic moment in our relations, Meloni declared, stressing the significance of the occasion.
We intend to seal the friendship that unites our nations with concrete facts by enhancing our strategic collaboration on many crucial fields. And this visit also marks a historic moment in our relations, the first summit between Italy and the 5 Central Asian nations.
She highlighted that Italy was the first EU nation to invest significantly in Central Asia and to launch a permanent consultative mechanism with the region.
Central Asia has always been a bridge. The transformations and changes this part of the planet has undergone over the centuries have made it what it is today. The hinge between 2 continents, the point of contact between Europe and Asia, the junction between worlds that once were very distant but now are more interconnected than ever.
In his remarks at the opening of the forum, President of Rwanda, Paul Kagame, while advocating an integrated approach towards addressing global challenges, made a case for a world where equity and fairness between the West and developing economies of the South are protected and respected.
But while we push for change, we must also act with greater urgency to build resilience from within. That means managing our resources more effectively, enhancing industrial productivity, and investing in human capital development. It is encouraging to see the renewed momentum behind South-South cooperation, including between Africa and Central Asia.
NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International. We will pause here, take a short break, but we will return with more news. Thanks for staying with us. Now, more than 110 persons have been confirmed dead after the flood disaster that ravaged some communities in Mokwa local government area of Niger State, arising from the heavy downpour that occurred Wednesday night. Musa Mikhail reports that properties worth millions of naira were also destroyed in the disaster.
Floodwater hit communities in Mokwa local government area, destroying shops, houses and farms, according to the Niger State Emergency Management Agency. More than 100 people have so far been confirmed dead, with many more still missing. District head of Mokwa, Mohamed Shabu Ali, narrating the unfortunate incident, said the last time this occurred was many years ago.
Since I was born, we've never witnessed anything like this before. We just wake up in the morning and we saw flood, which have devastated all my community. We have more than 100 deaths and more than 800 displaced. Houses gone. In fact, we are still looking for corpses from here up to river.
We are calling government for intervention because our people are suffering. We need immediate intervention. If not, we are in mess in Mokwa for now.
As at the time of filing this report, hundreds of residents are still yet to be accounted for, even as government agencies are helping the search and rescue operation. Musa Mikhail, NTA News.
And President Bola Tinubu has directed all relevant emergency and security agencies to intensify ongoing search and rescue operations in Mokwa, Niger State, where a devastating flood occurred that claimed the lives of several persons. The incident has also led to the submergence of numerous homes and the displacement of hundreds of families. A statement by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, says the immediate priority of the federal government is to save lives and provide urgent relief to survivors. The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, in collaboration with the Nigerian Armed Forces and the Niger State government, is working to ensure that no effort is spared in bringing help to those in need. The federal government commends the courage and dedication of first responders and volunteers who are risking their lives in the ongoing rescue efforts and urge residents in the affected areas to cooperate with emergency officials and adhere to all evacuation directives that are issued. The federal government equity extends its heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims. And the Senate Committee on Federal Character has cautioned government agencies in charge of financial and administrative affairs over alleged sabotage of Nigeria's principle of federal character on requirements and promotions. At an investigative hearing on the issue, lawmakers frowned at the practice, saying it wasn't fair for government agencies to demand for their own quota during recruitment. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
When you get to IPPIS, is it what it's called? Yes. Before they do anything, they want some cut. You go to civil service, they want some cut. Accountant General, they want some cut. And so before you know it, you are confused.
The Senate Committee on Federal Character is dismayed at discrepancies so far discovered since the launch of an investigation into alleged violation of the principle of federal character by ministries, departments and agencies of government in recruitments. At the session with the National Pension Commission, the committee discovered discrepancies in staff distribution across local government areas, states and regions.
We have 36 states, we have 6 zones. Be conscious of that.
Before now, we used to say that there were educationally disadvantaged states. But right now in Nigeria, we no longer have such. If we have anything, it's over education.
We also try as much as we can to abide by all the rules and regulations that have been set.
Ensure that every part of this country is appropriately and fairly represented in that agency.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had earlier appeared, where the committee noted that staff distribution is more equitable in the commission compared to other agencies. Meanwhile, stakeholders at a public hearing by the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and Test Fund on bill to establish Federal College of Education Technical Asaba in Delta State, Federal College of Education Special in Karai, Kano State, and bill to establish Federal University of Education Gumel in Jigawa State, applauded President Tinubu for approving the establishment of more tertiary institutions across the country.
I'd like to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his commitment, for his determination, for his nationalism in expanding the sphere of educational sector.
They reflect our collective aspiration to expand access to higher education, promote quality, and enhance the quality of training across our institutions.
The Senate will not relent in giving Nigerians impactful legislation in ensuring access to education for all across the country.
The establishment of the 3 institutions is being canvassed to bridge existing gaps and make education accessible to underserved areas. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And to the judiciary now. The new thinking in the legal profession, both on the bench and the bar, is fostering a culture of mentorship, inclusivity and empowerment of the next generation of women leaders in law. This is the centerpiece of discourse at the 25th Biennial Conference of the National Association of Women Judges, Nigeria, underway in Abuja. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
This gathering is the convergence of women judicial officers under the umbrella of the National Association of Women Judges, Nigeria, which is an affiliate of International Association of Women Judges. The association is concerned with the advancement of female judicial officers, their career progression, gender equity, access to justice, and respect for the rule of law. The conference is an introspection on the activities of the association in the last 2 years since Justice Kudirat Kekereekun took over the mantle of leadership of the association as its president. With over 450 members, the association's advocacy for appointment of more women judicial officers is equally yielding positive results.
A series of workshops and training highlighted the need to sensitize more women in the legal profession to aspire to leadership positions in order to participate in policy making in matters that affect women in the profession and beyond, not only in Nigeria, but also globally.
Our president has been the champion of monitoring the younger generation of women judges and lawyers, as reflected in all our workshops across the geopolitical zones and at this conference. Hence, the theme of this conference will resonate the importance of mentoring and its benefits for the next generation of women judges and lawyers.
Available statistics have shown that out of the 1,391 serving judicial officers, 449 are women, translating into 32%. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And youth from the Southern Senatorial District of Cross River State, under the auspices of Cross River State Political Network, CRISPON, have stated their support for continuity of President Bola Tinubu and Governor Basi Otu in office. This was at a grand reception held in honor of the duo based on their performance in the past 2 years. The youths converged on UJ Eswene Stadium to showcase their solidarity. Paul Abel was there and completes the report.
At the UJ Eswene Stadium, Calabar, it was a carnival-like atmosphere
as youths from the 7 local government areas which make up the Southern Senatorial Zone gathered in their numbers. They are assembled here with one singular message for the continuity of President Bola Tinubu and Basi Otu as a result of their giant strides and exemplary leadership to move the nation and state forward.
We want to say that we appreciate you for all you've done, the transformation in the health sector, the intervention programs that you have facilitated, the roads, infrastructural marvel, Your Excellency, gender inclusion, women inclusion, youth inclusion, agricultural revolution.
We have seen a serious transformation across the health facilities in our state. And the wonderful thing you are doing in the educational sector.
Governor Basi Otu, in his response, commends the youth for their support, promising that the policies of the federal government and that of the state are geared towards making Nigeria and Cross River State better.
To get any good thing, there has to be an investment of sacrifice. Any country that tells you that they were great overnight is not a country. There must have been a time of starvation. There must have been a time of almost total despondency. But I want to assure each and every one here that we've navigated the dam. I believe in sustainability of the project called Cross River. And I know that with you, we are going to achieve it.
Cultural displays added color to the event. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu rejoices with former governor of Enugu State, Senator Chimaroke Nnamani, as he celebrates his 65th birthday today. The statement by Bayo Onanuga, Special Advisor to the President, Information and Strategy, President Tinubu commends Senator Nnamani's enduring contribution to Nigeria's democratic journey, particularly his remarkable service as governor of Enugu State from 1999 to 2007, and his membership of the Southern Governors Forum. And that's the news. Thank you for being a part of it. I am Frama Panyi, and Shagun Ajayi has been the sign language interpreter.